Greetings and welcome back, one and all, to From the Depths and to the Heb Enu. As promised, I have taken the time to cut out the holes for the various turrets. We actually have quite a lot. It looks an interesting shape when the holes are cut out as well. And, more importantly, I have shaped the hull. Oh my lord, this has taken me a long time. Oh my lord, I've left a bit off. Damn it. But this has taken a phenomenally long time to do. Ah, scallywaggery. It's leaking. Now, I will quickly go over what the main points of the build are. Is that all done now? There we go, fine. And is the front done? No, there's a little bit. But this large, so I'm going to call it tubular shape, is a keel. And at the moment, it's not entirely full of lead, but it is reasonably filled with lead. If I zoom in, you'll see it's got a cross section going the whole length that is lead. Now that is balancing this enormous vessel, and as you can see there, I've done a lot of shaping. This has taken a very long time. The majority of it, the largest length of it was fine because I just needed to get the curve, and then it was a case of just copying that down along the length. But then I had to join that curve with the curve of the front of the ship. Now, using blocks and simple primitive shapes, making two curves join in something that resembles a curve, practically impossible. I spent a long time trying to fix that, and it still doesn't look right to me, but it's something I can live with at this point. The back, we've got an awful lot of propellers. We've even got some redundancy with the rudders as well. There's a slight lip to the vessel, which I'm quite proud of. I think it looks very nice. And down here, we have the spaces for the guns. Now, the little guns, they've got a little bit of a lip there. I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'll have to just make the gun sections, the rotating sections themselves, a lot smaller than I would have liked to, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll have to just live with that. Now, it is time, I think, for us to start the functional components. Oh, actually, before I do, I've been using this. Very useful. I've got it set to activate all of the air pumps so I can adjust the buoyancy as necessary to just kind of keep the waterline just below this lip, so it's affected by this rudder and those propellers. Now, let me have a quick look on the map. How are we doing? We're not doing too terribly badly. The Eversong there. Can I not select the Eversong? Why can I not select the Eversong? That's some kinds of nonsense right there. Let's try pressing all sorts of things, making sure I'm not stuck in anything. There we are. Come out of builder mode. Okay. Now sometimes that helps. Nope. Still can't select it for some reason. Oh, I can select these ones though. That's peculiar. Ah, there we go. We've got the Eversong. Right. You know what we need to do though? We actually need to bring the the Wukong up here in the resource zone, nice and high. About there. Let's bring that out. The Heb Enu's there. We need the Kunanoon to load in. We need everything on the Kunanoon loaded in. And we then want the Sun Wukong loaded in as well. Okay, let's bring the Sun Wukong in. So, forces, Sun Wukong, let's load you in. Then we want the Kunanoon, we want the Nebula Bomb, and we want the Plunderbuss. There we go. And hopefully they can be fixed, maybe? No? A little bit too far away? Okay. Fair enough. My fault. Let me get those over there. We'll pull them out of play. There we are. And move them over a little bit. So about there. There we go. Can we get you moved over a little bit more? Just get everything close enough to the Sun Wukong that it's going to be able to fix everything. Actually, let's get you two really close by. There we go. Really? How much altitude can you get? You must have bounced out of the water at some point. Right, let's move the Heb Enu over there. Actually, we're going to have to pull the Heb Enu out of play. There we go. Then move it over there. Alright, now that should allow me to get the Kunanoon fixed because we have a reasonable strength force coming in to attack. We've also got another navy right behind that one, ready to engage. So we need to get our forces fixed. Let's pull all. Speed up time. There we go. Everything is moving in. And good to go. Right. Now then. Sun Wukong, I would like you to be loaded in. There we are. Also, Kununun, Nebula Bomb, Blunderbuss. Right. Sun Wukong, do your magical stuffs. Oh my god. Look what's left of the Kununun. That's so bad. It shouldn't even be here anymore, let's face it. The Kununun is dead. It's also sinking. Oh my good lord. That is so horribly bad. Right, well, while that's doing its thing, let's load in the Hair Banu. And we shall continue with the building. Now, the first thing we're going to work on... You'll notice I haven't actually built in the AA yet. That'll be one of the last things I do, I fancy. Now, I'm trying to decide whether I would rather have... Let's put down the mirror line just in case I need it. Rather have the turrets operated by a floating block or not. And what I mean by that is using a light block to anchor the turret onto so that the innards of the turret can still rotate, but it won't be affixed to the bottom of the boat or the top. I think that would actually be a better idea because I suspect that would ultimately... No, that's wrong. That would ultimately make it much harder to be destroyed. So let's bring this out as far as we need to. We'll have a metal block, 4 meters, just about there, going down to the floor. That way we can affix the light blocks onto that, so it's got multiple points to be protected from. So now I still haven't worked out whether light blocks explode when they, will explode in a chain reaction, whether the explosion is powerful enough to detonate the other light blocks. That is something I have yet to work out. And this is not even, is it? 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, drat. Well, I guess it isn't going to be that much of a problem right now. I'll probably fix that later on, though. Let's build this out. There we go. So we've got our light blocks down here. Now, what I can do is I can build the turret right here. And as always, we want a new object. We want a turret. It will be a precision turret, so slow turning. And we will have it right there. Now, the next thing we are going to want to do, we are going to want the firing pieces quite high up, around, well, actually, it could be on level, but I fancy it being a little bit higher. Now, this turret, if you recall, is going to be a triple barrel, possibly a 6-barrel turret. It does depend a little bit on how I can arrange the firing pieces, but the very first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to want to bring up, let's see... We could probably afford to make it metal blocks because I'm not maxed out on my buoyancy yet. So, let's go ahead and do this. We'll have metal blocks all the way up, like so. Actually, if we're going to take it up that high, we may as well use another beam. There we go. Now that is as high as I want it to go. Ideally, I would rather have 3 firing pieces here, with their innards down there, and then directly above that, but further back, 3 other firing pieces, or just 2 other firing pieces, so it'll be a 5-barrel turret. That's a lot of guns. Probably too much, but we're not going to say that. We're just going to pretend we don't think it. Right, so we want another mirror beam, because now we're working on the turret itself. And that will give us our 3 main firing pieces. You know what? I fancy I should really do this. There we go. If we're going to have the second row of firing pieces here, and let's build this back slightly. Something like that. to allow us to build the other firing pieces around like this. There we are. And one there. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm allowing for the central sort of part of the turret, the connections, to go down for the actual firing pieces themselves. So that way they can actually have their ammo and all that down there. I may need to move that around a little bit more, but we'll actually have to see that in a second. I'm fairly certain, though, that we may be under attack. So let me just go and have a double check. Yes. Yes, we are, by both sets. That is horrific. Not good, bad times. Okay, Kununun, I'm definitely going to need you in this fight. So, please move up there. 10 times speed. We'll get the Kununun into position. That way we can have the Eversong, the Kununun, and some of their Pinakas loaded in. Oh, this is going to be a nasty fight. Right, walk me to the Eversong. It's going to be one of those days, I fear. Right, we've definitely got aircraft. Got 3 aircraft, 2 large ships. Ooh, okay. This is going to be an interesting one. Right, well, I think it's time that we load in our forces. So, first and foremost, Eversong. Kununun next. Nebula Bomb, Pinaka. Can I bring them all in? Blunderbuss. Lily Grace as well. Wow, okay. All of our forces are in before the very heavy enemy forces are in. So we should be good. If our forces lose this battle, I'm going to be terribly afraid. Because I doubt the Sun Wukong is going to be able to put up more damage than 2 Kunununs and 4 Pinakas. I'm absolutely certain that if that happens, death is coming for us. Right, so that is one enemy force obliterated. And the next one's loaded in. Right, these are the... That one's Seal Striders. That one is... the Talons, I believe. I forget. Let me just quickly check. Twin Guard, sorry. Oh, my lord. Heavy firepower. But this is the kind of thing that we're looking to make. Now, are we going to be able to get those missiles to connect? Because we need them to connect right now. A full volley, please. Take out those enormous weapons it has. That's right. We seem to be doing a decent amount of damage. That's one whole turret gone. Though a full volley of missiles is already on its way to us. The Kununun and the Eversong launching another volley. The Pinakas are getting wrecked by the cannons, though. Thankfully, this cannon is... Oh, it's got a very similar keel to the one that we've got. Okay, they're launching proximity fused missiles there. That's interesting. Now, how are our forces going to be able to do? One is using Q switches, the other is using continuous wave for its missile defense, but it seems to be doing the job okay. And the volleys upon volleys of missiles are absolutely wrecking this Steel Strider ship. That is very, very good to see. I was extremely concerned when I saw that enormous wireframe. But you're still being allowed to just attack. Wow, you've got... That is an interesting setup. A very interesting laser setup. I like it. This little bot has got a whole lot of style. A whole lot of style. Let's get in there and have a proper look. Hello. I wish to investigate your awesome looking ship. Has it got any kind of hidden components down here? No. It has got propellers. Are they reverse propellers, perhaps? I'm not really sure how they work. But it looks like we've done a huge amount of damage, though. But I'm loving that turret. Perhaps that was more of a spin block, though. I can't tell. Or it was just a multi-weapon turret. I guess you can have those without too much problem. As long as you put multiple weapon systems on it, then you could use... I guess you could limit the firing by affecting not the weapon controller, but the main weapon block itself, so the missile block or the firing piece, to try and affect their firing rate and other such statistics. Well, I'm actually remarkably impressed that you managed to do that so well. Well done, guys. Let's pull you out of play. You guys can stand your ground there. I'm heading back to the Hair Banu. Let's see if I can just jump over to you. No, I don't want to merge any fleets, thank you. Pull that into play. Then warp to the chair. Right, okay. We may have a little bit of time now to continue our building. Got a fairly large force coming down, but it's not even actually trying to attack us, it's just trying to claim land. I'm happy to let it try and do that. Right. Back to building then. So, right now I guess what I'm doing here is getting the rough shape. Okay, well, let's set up on this turret. Let's go to the custom cannons. We want firing pieces. We also want a mirror line. So firing piece there. Firing piece there. And back here, we want a firing piece there. And there. So this would be a 6-barreled turret. Crazy powerful, I hope. Now, 6-way connectors. An up-down connector. This block inputs on all sides, but outputs on the up and down face. Front and back connector. This block has inputs on all sides, but outputs on the front and back face. Or this block has inputs and outputs on all sides. I'm not actually sure how that works. How you would use that. I guess... Let me just check this. Firing piece is the most important part of the gun. Attach the barrels in the front and ammo boxes and all of the components on the sides or top. So I'm going to need to connect to it from the sides. That is unfortunate. Or, well, no, I could go from the top, but I don't want to do that for obvious reasons. We can't connect at the back. Now that is always the problem, a problem that I have. I guess what we could go down to a 4-barreled turret as a result. I'm really not sure. Let me just double check that again. Attach the barrels in the front and ammo box and all the components on the tops or sides. Well, there's nothing that we can do about that, unfortunately. We're just going to have to connect on the side. So we'll have 2 firing pieces then. Now, I could be wrong and it could have been fixed to the point where you can have multiple connections, but I do not believe that that is the case. And as long as it isn't, then we're just going to have a 4-barrel turret, or spread it out a little bit more. Perhaps have... we could actually have the firing piece coming up across the top and down, but we'll live without that. Though, having said that, we could happily have a firing piece set up here. Ooh, that's a possibility. So we just need to stagger it a little bit. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Or have it staggered back here. And then have it connect down the side like that. Oh, sorry. Yes, we could do... We'll do that. Because I really do want to have multiple turrets on this one. Have something like that. Then this comes out the back. Fire 2. Then we'll have the last firing piece there. Okay, that will work. There we go. Right. Now the question is whether this is going to be pushing the connections a little bit. Now what I mean by that is that I need room so that, assuming that we can't have them all connected, that I can have the 6-way connections branching off to the side of either of these without it getting in the way of the one in the middle on the lower level. Because whilst I had that firing piece here, then any kind of ammo boxes I attach to its connectors would probably have also been touching these ones' connectors. But we'll have to see how that works. So we'll go with the 6-way connectors for now. And the idea would be that these... Oh, that's a very long turret. Ultimately, I want it to pull... I'm really not sure about this. I think I'm probably biting off more than I can chew with having so many components. No, I'm going to err on the side of caution. Rather than build the thing and then it not work, we'll just go for a lower amount of barrels. And we'll just live with that. Okay. And then we want this back there. In fact, no we don't. We want it one further back. And that should give me all of the connections that I need or want. There we are. Right. Now then. Though that said, if I simply squeeze them a little bit closer together... Yes. I think it would be better to have them just slightly closer. Like so. That way, there's much more room for the rotation to happen. Right, going back to custom cannons, 6-way connectors. Finally, you might be saying to yourself. I want this... Actually, let's just build it round the back and then down. There we are. This will be the majority of the firepower will be attached to these coming all the way back. On this side, it'll just go straight down the side. All the way down. Is that the same level? Yes. Okay, now the first thing I want to do... Well, this is obviously going to be able to rotate. There's no question on that. So, what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and add the barrels. We don't really want too much elevation. We will have an elevation barrel on each section, but only one. And then we're not going to use so many motor-driven barrels that it can pull that back. To 80%, 80 degrees. There we go. We'll have the rear barrel be a much longer range barrel. Now we're going to want some motor-driven barrels on it, so we'll have... There we go. We'll probably add 2 more on that one. Right, let's see. How far can you turn? Elevation 45, azimuth 11. That seems fine to me. Elevation 22, so those can aim a... Well... You know, maybe we could just do away with elevation completely. Elevation 22, elevation 22, elevation 45. Let's try and get that down to 22 as well. 11. And if we add this there, that should bring this down to 11 as well. Okay, happy with that. The majority of this turret is going to be in how it turns itself, rather than anything else. Now, obviously, those are not particularly high gauge turrets. So, let's add some gauge increases. We'll have these go down along the inside, I think. I'll have 5 on each gun. There we are. That looks like a pretty nasty weapon there. A little bit too close in a way, but that's just going to give us more room to play around with actually adding functional components on underneath. And armor on the turret itself. Now then, we'll add ammo boxes down the bottom. These will just go on the inside. Well, actually, this one could afford to have them going all the way down. No, we'll bring that all the way down like so. Alright, next we want the reloaders. Ooh. Manual orientation, automatic orientation. This, okay, that's kind of cool. We'll just go with automatic. Is that orientated right? That's interesting. It doesn't seem to be working quite how I would imagine. We'll have to have a watch of that. Don't want any of these functional bits to go above the... I really would have thought that that would connect in a different way. But okay, it seems that... I wonder, can I... Okay. Can I turn it around? That's more what I wanted. But actually, yeah, we're going to have to go with the manual then. That's interesting. I've not seen that before. And this way twice. There we go. That should work fine. There we are. I wonder why the change to allow us to do this manually. Not that I'm complaining. It's actually quite nice to get the option, but still, it's a little bit of an odd change. And down here as well. Now, I could probably afford to fit them on the outside as well. And in fact, I'm kind of tempted to. So these cannons will actually be remarkably powerful. Not a huge fire rate yet, but we can easily add that in. We could add the... have most of this be actual ammo, so it has an enormous fire rate. And have the warheads... Yeah, we'll have the warheads just tucked in there. That'll work well. Okay, so... going for the ammo boxes. And all the way down. On both. There we are. Now, what we want at the back here. We could have more ammo boxes going down there and then just have a row of explosive armor piercing. I don't think that'll make everything armor piercing, but let's just check on the fire rate so far. Reload time 0.29, that's actually not too bad. Ammo use 29, inaccuracy 0.92, recoil absolutely crazy. You know what? We need some recoil suppression barrels. I didn't even think of that. Hadn't even thought of that at all. These all the same? Yes. So, that's not what I wanted to do. Right. Recoil is down quite a lot. It's not too terrible. I'll have a look at the numbers a little bit later, but right now I just want to flesh out the actual shape. We want armor-piercing warheads on the outside. And well, I'll have to turn the mirror line off for that. And explosive warheads on this side. There we go. The symmetry is ruined. I know. I'm a terrible human being. There we are. And then just ammo boxes. Let's have a quick look at what kind of damage we can expect from this. Explosive damage isn't so great. Armor piercing is 9.1. That's more than good enough for what I want. We'll never really get it up to 10, so there's no point in trying. There we go. And then the same over here as well. Oop, that's a little bit too much. Right. How fast are you going? Well, the reload time is already hit, but we have got a lot more ammo now in these as a result. So I'm okay with that. We can just continue doing that for now. There we are. I could probably build it out so that I could add just regular ammo stockpiles to the sides. and there's clearly room for me to fit a lot more components in here and still have this rotate easily enough. But now that we've got that in place, let's go ahead. Well, first and foremost, let's test this out. Let's jump up, get close to the weapon, take control of it. There we go. Can't really aim up too much. And fire. It's actually not bad at all. Let's have a look at how far this goes out. It's quite the spread, but that's not too bad. It would be good if I could set this up to have... Oh, can you rotate around that way? No? Have I lost... Yeah, I just lost the weapon. I need to stay quite close to the turret. Now, the thing is, I don't actually want it firing all the way back there. I'll use a local weapon controller to prohibit that, so it can't turn around and fire at the ship. But for the most part, I'm fairly happy with this. Now, what I'm going to do off camera, I am going to balance out the numbers a little bit better. I am also going to add the cladding for this turret. Still not entirely sure about the spacing. I may adjust that slightly. But for now, I might go with the firing pieces being there and there, just so that they've got a little bit of a gap between them. Because right now that looks a little silly. But when you return, you will return to a completed turret, ready for some proper testing. Not that we'll be testing anything with this ship as it is. But still, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.